For the final word on Andy, who better to ask than his brother, Michael Kaufman. Michael was perhaps closer to Andy than anyone, and he is more than happy to remember his big brother.
Michael, we had a great life together. From the frolicking as kids to your support of my career and unending loyalty, love and guidance when I showed symptoms of being ill. Send my love to Dad and Carol, but be gentle with them. I love you forever, dear kid brother, Nathan.
Nathan McCoy?
Yes. So he signs it Nathan McCoy. When I was visiting him, and I remember we were in the kitchen, and what were we talking? I remember his punchline. I just want to set up his punchline. We were talking about, dying or not, and what it might be like on the other side or whatever. And it wasn't a negative conversation. It was always, he can lick this. He can heal himself. But I remember somehow taking a step outside the door into the backyard, and Andy saying, I really am curious what it's like on the other side. I really would like to go visit it and come back, So that means nothing. It has nothing to do with faking that. He was just curious what it would be like. Mm-hmm. So the phone call came. I had just come back from a Christmas Eve party, and he gave me the phone call. And I'm the only one in the family who was allowed to know for a while. He explained, he said, remember when I was coughing for Thanksgiving? Well, I had it checked out, and it was cancer. No, he didn't say cancer, he said it was malignant. I wasn't well versed in words then. Like benign, malignant, I didn't really have that down pat, what each one meant. He also told me about doing push-ups, that his arm was hurting, and then someone started massaging it, and that made it worse. And that, between that and the coughing is when he had it checked out. And so when I got off the phone with him, on the phone with him, I said, oh, so you just go, zap it out, do whatever it was, you take care of it, and it's done. He says, yeah, that's right. So, so I guess I was in denial on that phone call that night. But when I woke up the next morning, I had a thud. In my heart, there was a thud. And that was, and I wasn't allowed to, he said, don't tell Mom and Dad, because my mother had had a stroke, and she had her own kind of cancer that didn't get her, but she had it. And so he said, Dad's been through enough, I don't want to add anything else, which says something about him. He says, let me take care of it, and then after I'm better, I can tell him. And I asked if I could tell my sister, and he says, no, if you need to, okay. But he just didn't want to make a big deal about it.
Yeah, well, lung cancer and a non-smoker is...
Well, he did smoke.
He did?
Yeah. That's funny that whenever I read, he never smoked. He smoked in high school, which is a long time earlier, but still, he did smoke in high school.
Were you in Cedars-Sinai when he passed away?
Yes, I was there. I got there, he stayed at home waiting for me to fly out. Like, the family was already there, and I was told to go out, and I was, part of me didn't want to, because part of me didn't want to, flying out there meant that I knew it was going to be ending. So part of me thought that if I didn't go out, I would be sending a sign that I'm not taking this seriously and you're going to get better. But I guess I got realistic also. So I was there, and I remember I put a note up on the door. Anybody who thinks that Andy cannot survive or something like that, that Andy's not going to beat this, you're not allowed in this room, and that includes you doctors, So, because I just wanted good energy around him. So yeah, I was there. We were there, I think it was just, I'm not sure if it was one night or 2 nights.
But he wasn't under his real name, right?
It was probably Nathan McCoy.
Right. Now, where does
or
that...
Nathan Richards, isn't there
Nathan Richards was another...
Is that a real person?
No, that's a
Another
character.
one of his?
Yeah, character he did.
Right.
But where does Nathan McCoy come from?
Nathan McCoy. McCoy is because my mother's mother, Grandma Pearl, when Andy would be kibitzing or just anything like that, she'd say, "Who you kidding, Kid McCoy?" You know, so she'd call anyone Kid McCoy. Where'd Nathan come from? He had a friend in 7th grade, Nathan Wang. Wang, I think is it? Yeah. And so maybe he put the Nathan in the McCoy. That's the best.
Why was an alias used when he went into Cedar Sinai? Was it
Probably for two reasons. Probably because you heard you're supposed to do that for anonymity, that kind of stuff. But I would think also just because you could. I mean, I could do it. What we did have was we played two songs. We played one song that when Andy and I went out for, while Andy was sick during a visit, Andy and I, the two of us, went out for dinner at the Inn of the Seventh Ray in Topanga Canyon. And we're sitting outdoors and they're playing Rachmaninoff's piano concerto in D or something. It's from Somewhere in Time, the same song that's in Somewhere in Time. And they had played that at a workshop Andy had taken, and he couldn't listen to it without, welling up. And so that seemed like a very meaningful song to Andy. So we played that song at the funeral, and we ended the funeral. We did end it with Friendly World, because he ended all his concerts. It just seemed fitting that we ended like that.
now the headstone over in Elmont?
Right.
Why does it say Andy Kaufman? I mean, I would expect it to say Andrew Jeffrey
Oh.
or Andrew G. Kaufman.
Yeah.
Why just Andy Kaufman?
Right.
Kaufman.
Right. That's a good question, because you'd think the family knows the Andrew Joffrey, but I guess because he was public and like everybody just knew him as Andy. It's either Andy, Uncle Andy. So why put this? I think it just felt right. It just felt more in line with who he was, and that would be why. Yeah.
So
I kind of like it.
do you honestly have suspicions, or is it just kind of fun to keep the idea going?
It's been fun to keep the idea going. So now it's more fun when it's just the family doing it. But yeah, I guess it's been mostly, that at times it's been fun doing it, whether that's denial or whatever it is. But I wouldn't. There's nothing that's impossible. All right. I mean, I would be obviously shocked. So he's gone. He's been gone for a while. However, nothing in this world would anything can happen in this world. So, but I don't think that, he survived that one. Yeah. I mean, even though, even though I was there when he died, yeah, he could have done this stuff with the meditation where he just wasn't breathing, but they had a good wax figure at the funeral and all that stuff. But it's nice. It's almost like, gee, wouldn't he love that we're saying this? But it's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not something you actually believe.
No, not at all.
Okay. Yeah.